Motivational interviewing helps people identify, then analyze, then resolve problems by asking them open-ended, non-judgmental questions so people can figure out things for themselves. The idea is that they believe they haven't actually been persuaded to do anything. They believe they've made a rational decision themselves. This is why it can be so powerful. So, if a problem is deciding whether to purchase a large ticket item or not, the salesperson can ask various questions in a manner so that the potential client is steered into a direction that makes them think they've done this steering on their own. One part of motivational interviewing that's used a lot is called the 1 to 10 method. Here's how it works. Let's say you're trying to sell a camper van or RV to someone who isn't sure if a purchase is right and may just continue to rent camper vans or RVs for their regular trips to the country. Now, the salesperson may say something like, "I know it's a big decision, but tell me, on a scale of 1 to 10, how practically useful would it be to actually own your own camper van?" The client may say, "Well, to be honest, only say 4 out of 10, as we've had no real issues with renting RVs before." It is extremely unlikely people say a number like 1 or 0 at this stage, because the salesperson can then say, 4, eh? 4? Why didn't you give me a lower number? Why didn't you say 1 or a 2? The client would then think and usually say a whole string of positive points, some of which may be new to the salesperson's ears, and they should pick up on them. The client could say something like, "Well, I didn't give a lower number because it would be great to have a camper van where I knew where everything was, and I knew all the equipment worked on it. I could also take great care of it, and I knew it'll be clean when I wanted it. I could also hire it out to my mates," and so on. And the client is now convincing themselves that it's a great idea to buy their own camper van and not rent it, all thanks to the "why didn't you choose a lower number" question from the salesperson. Now, for this to work, the salesperson should try their best to develop empathy using some of the other techniques discussed in this course. The client will be far more likely to open up and be honest if they feel that you understand their point of view, and also you won't judge them on their decisions. So have a good think of how you could take advantage of this "why didn't you choose a lower number" technique in your own sales situation. And you can use this in conversation with people as well. Like, how did you enjoy that movie? Score 1 to 10. And the people will say 5 or 6 or something. Why didn't you give a lower number? Well, and then the positive things come out. It's a very, very powerful technique. Now, let's move on to taking advantage of human fallibility. Oh, we're all human, we're all fallible. Us human beings seem to be hardwired to react in certain ways to certain situations, depending on the local culture. It's all very interesting. For example, I can guarantee that if I went out on my bike, my push bike in England, where I live, and I fell off in the road very clumsily in front of a lot of people, the first thing anyone would say as I lay in a concussed stupor in the middle of the road would be, "Are you all right, mate?" No, I'm not all right, actually, mate. I just fell off my bike. But it's just one of those things that people say, "Are you all right, mate?" without thinking. Now, the cultures of the world we all live in have their own strange customs and often illogical reactions to social or interactive situations. And you may know some from wherever you live in the world. And these can be used sometimes to help us all up our persuasion game. Betting and gaming companies use a lot of various persuasion techniques to lure people into becoming regular bettors. If you've ever been to a live horse racing event, for example, and you've got no intention of betting at all, you're just there for the atmosphere, taking a friend, I don't know, whatever, there's something about being at the actual event and seeing the queues of people wanting to bet that can persuade you to, as we say in England, have a flutter, although you may not at all be interested in doing this if you are at home or you are watching a horse race on TV. There's something about other people doing things around you that suddenly normalizes what they're doing. So you tell yourself it's okay to do it too. Have you ever been in a studio audience at the recording of a comedy TV show? Now, if you saw the show on TV, you may well find it not funny at all. Yet, being surrounded by others laughing, and you probably had been warmed up by a comedian before the recording, you just can't help joining in too, can you? You can't just sit there with your arms folded, can you? Then, of course, the TV company may well add your recorded laugh track to that TV show to persuade the viewers at home to join in the laughter too. Weird, eh? It's all part of being human. A busy bar or club is always more attractive than an empty bar or club if you feel like a fun evening, and a long line outside a store will always intrigue others to join in too, to see what all the fuss is about. In museums, where there are those ubiquitous Perspex boxes for you to place your donations in, museums will often deliberately layer high-value banknotes inside, so you'll consider it normal to donate high-value notes to add to the collection, and not just a few coppers. Every single time you turn on the TV or go onto YouTube, there are commercials where companies are paying millions of dollars to persuade you to buy their products. Some companies and marketers do it better than others, but in general, there's almost always somebody trying to persuade you to purchase something or to behave in a certain way. Now, there are many ways that you could get your own perceptions changed. For example, when there are similar products on sale and one is far more expensive than the other, do you think that the more expensive one is superior? You see, for many people, they would automatically make that connection, even though they may have no more information about the product than it's more expensive. Never mind what it is, what the characteristics, what the color or the name of it or whatever. But us humans can be so fallible. An interesting sales technique is when you tell people that you don't really care either way what their decision will be. This can often trigger a purchase because the person knows the pressure's off. I know some car dealerships make a point of telling their customers that their sales executives are not on any sales commission at all. It doesn't matter to them about sales. They get the same income every month from the car dealership. So if you've had lots of information and help from a particular salesperson, you know they're not just sucking up and telling you lots of positive things just to get you to sign the contract because they're not going to get any extra money for getting you to buy. I know someone who used this technique asking people in the street to sign their petition for something. Fed up with people ignoring her, walking past, she changed her pitch from, "Hello, would you mind signing my petition?" to, "Hello, I'm pretty sure you don't want to do this, but would you mind signing my petition about..." So weird, isn't it? That you don't want to do this? But hearing this, people then knew they could have free will. They're not being forced, they're not being pestered, and as well may want to prove the questionnaire person wrong. So this actually vastly increased the number of passers-by that engaged with the petition. So instead, "Would you mind signing my petition?" changes to, "I'm sure you don't want to do this, but would you mind signing my petition?" And you can adapt that to all sorts of different situations. Sometimes a tweak in a question can help persuade people to give to charity. Many research surveys have shown that people are embarrassed to give just a small donation. So you may have noticed that many campaigns say variations on the all-important phrase, "Even a penny would be welcomed," or "Every penny counts," or "Every cent counts." This takes the embarrassment factor off the person being asked to donate, and those small amounts that may not ever have been given all add up into larger and more useful ones for the charity. Some marketers call this an MVA, or minimum viable action. Now, another example of this, if you were selling houses, ideally you'd like people physically to come to an open day to look round the estate or whatever, but there are smaller actions that clients could do that would be worthwhile targeting as well, such as taking a leaflet, filling in a form to have more information, seeing a video. Now, for that situation, that would be the MVA. So what's the MVA for the things you're selling? Okay, that's it for today. I hope you found all that really interesting, and we've got much more tomorrow. Hey, thank you very much for watching. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comments below or watch the video once more, just in case there's something you've missed. Now over to my left, you can continue watching. Just click the video you'd like to watch next. And please click the thumbs up icon to let me know if you've enjoyed this video and found it informative. And if you've not done so already, remember to subscribe and click that bell icon so you don't miss any of my new videos. Thanks again. I'll see you in the next video.